Hey Beans! Disclaimer, this video is pretty far out. I've got some crazy ideas for you today that I really think bring Animal Jam into the future. So, let's be honest, Animal Jam is a kid's game. You can't really get around it. Yes, there are plenty of teenagers and kids above probably 12 or 13 who play it. And obviously I have nothing against kids who are over 12 or 13 and play it. I'm 17, almost 18, and I play Animal Jam. But I'm just saying we have to face the facts that the majority of the people on Animal Jam are kids. I don't think you can really counteract that argument, even if you have a lot of friends who are teenagers or above. But how do we get people who are teenagers and above on Animal Jam? How do we make it more exciting? Because there are plenty of people who love the creative side of it, but there's not really an opportunity for anyone who loves anything besides the creative side to come into Animal Jam, and that is why I love Graham's Adventure and Battle for the Beacon, because they are these grindy alternatives to these really intense kind of creative sides. But right now, they're really kind of kid-oriented. And for young boys like me who really like creative things, but also kind of like to do that grindy cool stuff every once in a while where you like fight monsters and go get them eaten by chomper plants and destroy phantom tubes and stuff, and just grind away with your friends, well, that's the kind of stuff that I want to see get more advertised to an older population, because creativity is like, it's set. You can be as old as you want and make masterpieces. You can be as old as you want and still have fun making dens and decorating looks. There's a million things to do. But with the grindiness, we're still kind of stuck in this simple kind of like, you go here, you kill this phantom, you hit this phantom pipe a couple, oh, gotta move, hit the phantom pipe a couple of times, oh, good job, pick up the crystal. But I feel like we could get way more complex and get way cooler stuff. So, let's talk about a few things within these adventures that I think would make Animal Jam way more interesting to people who are a bit above 12, maybe get us into that maybe up to 14 to 15 range, just for kids who, want to keep playing after they get old. And now before I start, some kids, like me, love the creativity and the grinding. It's just that you kind of need both sometimes. Like, I mean, you do too much creative stuff, you want to just go blow up some phantoms for a little bit and relieve some, like, mind-boggling stress. But you do too much grinding stuff, you want to go to something creative because you feel too entrapped and bored. So I think both are important. So even if you're a creative person, listen up. Here's what I think we should do with Grams. We should have power-ups for adventures. That is a great way to add progression, because basically the entire reason that games are like fun and addicting is because it's a cycle of like, you do good, you get better. You get better, you do more good. You do more good, you get more better. You do more better, you get more good. And then you just keep going in this cycle. And it's really fun to watch. And then like, once you've done all this stuff, you have this progress to show off. Rather than just having a bunch of items that anyone can buy, you can actually go and say, hey, check it out. Not just I'm level 15, but I can run faster, I can blow up phantoms, I can hold more boom seeds, I can do all these crazy things, like my weapons do more damage, I can like double strike, I can hold weapons in both hands, cool stuff like that. Why don't we have like a progression system or a talent system, or have like different animals do different things? Maybe they could get split into classes, like maybe foxes, arctic wolves, hyenas, all those guys with claws do more damage, and then maybe like the big ones and like the boys with like the turtles and the polar bears and stuff take less damage, they get an extra heart or something. Just simple little things like that to make these adventures a little cooler and a little more like progression and a little more unique. And that's another thing that I think would be really cool about having different animals have different kind of classes to them. Then we could get really specialized roles, and we can actually build like giant clans and like have fun and go on this giant adventure in Battle for the Beacon. But I'm getting too much into Battle for the Beacon. I'm going to start with Graham's Workshop. How do I think Graham's Workshop could be improved upon to make it less like boringly grindy and give there more of a sense of satisfaction, and make there a little more to do beyond that base level that you can get done within the first 30 minutes to an hour? So I think that what you should be able to do is use certain items that you have to be able to get more things. So let's say you're in possession of a shovel, maybe Prospector's outfit, maybe you have a better chance of getting gold or silver or something cool like that. Let's say maybe you own your own mining pick, you can go and you can get gemstones more often, stuff like that. Or you could make like tiers of mining outfits. So maybe if you mine enough, then you could go and instead of spending your mining stuff on more rocks and things that you can buy in the shop, you can buy a mining outfit with that stuff. So not only do you get a cool outfit, but you can also upgrade that mining outfit. It could be like 5 tiers, and the last one is like sick, and you get like this dark gray thing with like the big yellow light coming out of here, like this big mining pick, big manly arms and stuff. It'd be really cool. It'd be really cool to do that. So I think Animal Jam should add something like that, where they kind of have a progression system within Graham's Workshop. And I get it, that's a lot for just a seasonal adventure, but I really think that things like Graham's Workshop and Battle for the Beacon should become permanent things just like adventures. There's no reason that the normal adventures with the phantoms and the stuff would have to be seasonal. I don't see any reason why Graham's Adventure and these things would have to be seasonal if they actually had stuff to do that didn't get old. Because the reason they're seasonal right now is because they get really old really fast. And if they were out forever, people would just stop playing them. But since they're only out for a little bit at a time, people play them and get used to them and then like get bored of them. Wait till next year, play them, get used to them, get bored of them. And it's this endless cycle of just kind of having fun periodically because nothing ever changes. And now for some of my favorite ideas. Battle for the Beacon. So, like I talked about earlier, I wish different animals had different classes to them, and you could do specific things as a different animal. This would add so much teamwork and group work to Animal Jam, because right now, we have some teamwork. We have like 4-person adventures, and like the Forgotten Desert, we have to like stand on the same platform. Woo! Teamwork. Gotta really coordinate that one. But it'd be cool if you had like specific damage dealers, specific tanks, specific phantom blower uppers, specific people who revive chomper plants, all those cool jobs. And like certain classes did better things. You could wear certain outfits to do better stuff, or certain items would like help you revive people. Maybe you could have healers, even like those alpha healing staffs. What if we came up with healing staffs and like instead of attacking, every time that you like shift clicked, you would like release a spray of healing and like restore 1 heart to everyone in your radius. And then we could have like, calm down for a second, Julian. This is my biggest idea of all. This is my favorite. Battle for the Beacon, but it's endless. How about that? How about that, boys? So, Battle for the Beacon is really cool, but you go through like 3 waves of phantoms, and then you just win. And if you get enough players, then you really just win, and it's just over. And you can revive from chomper plants, and then just go to the other side, and then just pick up the same things. But what if it went on forever and ever and ever, and there were periodic boss fights that required like different tactics and techniques and teamwork? I'm getting really ahead of myself. This would be a huge update on Animal Jam's part. I really don't expect them to add something like this. But if they ever did want to add some really cool new feature that I would play all the time and probably make like half my videos about, it would be this kind of raid system. And oh my god, how cool would it be if they added some sort of like clan or tribe system like I've talked about in so many videos. You know how in other games like Clash of Clans, for example, I'm sure a lot of you have played Clash of Clans or Clash Royale or one of those similar games, you can join a clan with all your friends. And then you participate with your clan to do group things. Depending on what the game is, you do different things. In something like World of Warcraft though, you use your guild to go and down bosses. It's just simple as that. If you have a really hard thing, you just call up your guild, you go through and you get loot together. It's awesome. It's really fun. And I think we should have something like that in Animal Jam, to have not only just the guild side of it, but also the adventures to down with your guild, to build up your guild. And like, that would be really cool, because you'd have like guild recruitment and stuff, and like you'd have to try and find the best adventure players. Be like, level 20 plus, like must be this and this and that, and like have these items, or be like looking for healers. I think that would be so cool in Animal Jam. Or if there was like super rare alpha staffs, and you had to like work, oh my god, okay. Getting carried away here. So teamwork would be really cool in those adventures. And then we could even have, let's say, a leaderboard, maybe like a 3-person leaderboard, then like a 5-person leaderboard, a 10-person leaderboard, a 20-person leaderboard for like how many waves you downed. That would be so cool to go on a 20-wave thing and just blow up 1,000,000 phantoms. You'd have like 2 tanks, 3 to 4 healers, like a bunch of boom seed guys, some phantom pipe destroyers, and then like 2 chomper revivers. Now that would be really cool. Actually, I wonder if people would even use chomper revive. I'm getting really carried away here. I like this idea a lot. Things like special delivery and that Jamalde like rescue fort thing where you like go and just collect jingle bells or whatever it is. I never played that one all the way through. I don't like those ones. They aren't nearly as cool. They're just grindy. They don't have much potential to them because they don't really fight anything or do anything like that. But I think Animal Jam could really make some cool new stuff if they use this kind of technique that a lot of games have implemented. It would just give something for older players to do, because the adventures were a great idea, but they're so streamlined and there's not much teamwork. I think if they just added something like this where you could really take advantage of a team and go and earn loot and earn prizes and push yourself to whatever limits you wanted to, and not just kind of run away from a few phantoms, do the same adventure in the same storyline with the same dialogue over and over and over. Yeah, I had a sentence going on, I forgot where it was going. It's over now. And finally, before I go, remember the great effect that this would have on rarity. If we had like rare items that you could not only work towards, but use as a team to work towards. And what if there were rare drops, like from the bosses and stuff that you got? And you could get like rare items that would help you in Graham's Workshop, or would help you in Battle for the Beacon, or do tons of damage, like maybe even more than the Alpha Sword. Or maybe certain new rare items would show up that just looked cool, or were just cool dead items, or trophies from defeating phantom bosses, or just random phantoms. I think that'd be cool. Plus, remember that this would assign actual values to certain rare items. Like right now, yeah, you wear some rare items and you can do more damage to obstacles and stuff. Like sure, a sword helps you do this and that, an alpha sword does 50 damage, but it's not the same. What if like you could get certain boots that would help you run faster? Those boots would be worth a lot all of a sudden, especially if they weren't in store. People would trade items that maybe were more common for this more useful item. It would provide a new way for people to gain rarity and really work towards the system instead of just going and playing the Forgotten Desert and just running around a desert, collecting some gems, maybe getting a few friends to stand on some pillars, and then collecting their free rares. Anyways, Beans, thanks so much for watching. I hope Animal Jam HQ happens to see this video and maybe takes my ideas into consideration, at least a few of them, maybe even just the smaller ones like the tribes or the clans, or just in general, just adding sort of a tier system to Graham's Workshop, stuff like that. So, they can take it as far as they want, and you guys can take it as far as you want. I hope you're as excited about this as I am. I'll see you in my next video. Bye.
So bright, I wanna lose that somebody.